welcome to the Mid-Wavespell Galactic Mind Weather Report. If you've been tracking the Mayan dream spell, you know that we're in the wave spell of the yellow human. So that's 13 days of really evolving what does our own hero's journey look like? You know, what are these human vehicles that each of us are driving? Each of us have such a unique genetic program that's literally in our genome. You know, I'm not talking, fluffy spiritual kind of concepts here, but we really do have this unique genetic program in our DNA. And your program is so different to everyone else around you. It's so different to mine. And we all have this different, unique, incredibly unique way of expressing that purpose that's built in our genetic program into the world. And so this 13-day wave spell of the yellow human, which has been going for 7 days now. So we're in the 7th day, in the center, the eye of the yellow human wave spell. The 7 days so far have been really about challenging us and getting us to commit to the hero's journey, to answer the call, to learn how to actually see a bigger picture that we're playing in and our role within it. And so the center, the resonant tone, is always about bringing ourselves back into alignment to the original intention of the wave spell. And so today we bring ourselves back into alignment through, imbibing upon the frequency of the white resonant mirror dream spell archetype. So the white resonant mirror, the white mirror energy it's about endless reflection in the pursuit of truth. Now, when I say that, endless reflection in the pursuit of truth, we can often think about, looking for some moral concept of what truth is. And a lot of people have very morally focused ideas of what that means. But really, when we're looking at the mirror, we're looking at something very pure. And it's this idea of endlessly reflecting in order to find, order. Universal order. And to my perception, that's kind of how truth is being redefined for me. Truth to me is right now. May not have been 10 minutes ago, may be different in 10 minutes. But right now, truth really represents the universal order of things when they are aligned to their natural state. And so today we're really encouraged as we move forwards into completing the last 7 days of this Mayan dream spell of the yellow human wave spell, to really reflect, take some time today to slow down and not rush through and just watch the world around you. Everything around you, your greatest guru is your everyday life. How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? What is being shown to you? How are you reacting? And how are you responding to the world around you? When I speak about this, I mean things like, for example, something may come up in your day-to-day life today. It might be at work or within your personal life. And when something happens, it might be something that has a bit of friction to it, that challenges you a little bit. When that happens, it's really the way you perceive that friction varies greatly on where you stand internally. Are you standing with stability? Are you standing strong? Are you standing with a solid, self-confidence and belief in yourself? And if you are standing in that place, of solidness, then any contrast that arises from the outside world changes its form. It's no longer this horrible, thing that makes you feel like a victim to the world, but it suddenly becomes an adversity to overcome, And we need to be gentle with ourselves when we do this reflection, because it can get very harsh very quickly. It's a lot of the times we try to force this process of self-awareness. We try to force this process of reflection, and I've done it myself many times where something happens and I'll just say, oh, well, it's just a lesson to be learned. I just need to deal with this. I'm not going to yell at the person. I'm not going to react to the situation. And I force myself to kind of just accept it, because mentally I understand that it's a reflection of mine that's happening here. But that's a very harsh way of doing things. And when we do things in a very harsh manner, it tends to stir up our fear even more. It tends to make us feel even more unsafe. And as a result, tend to do more of the reaction we're trying to actually reflect on and sort out. So I've been really experimenting with this during this yellow human wave spell. And when I've had these moments of friction come from outside of me, I watched, there was almost like this schizophrenic part inside myself. I was able to be aware of, right in the moment, the part of me like a small child that was pissed off, that was sitting there going, you are the one that has something that needs to be sorted. You're the one that needs to do your self-reflection. You're the one that needs to fix this, in regards to what was creating the friction in me from outside. But then there was the other part that was witnessing this and really seeing how I was harshly reacting inside myself. And I was able to just kind of soothe it, just like a little child that's angry or frustrated, and just calm myself inside and just whisper gently, it's okay, just relax and breathe, and just don't worry about whether it is someone's fault or not outside. It doesn't matter. And just slowly lulled myself into a calm and just whispered gently into my own ear that in the end, I'm reacting, I'm scared, and that's all that matters right now. Not who created it or why or whose fault it is. But I had these incredible opportunities to nurture myself, to follow that emotional feeling of unease and back into myself. And when I did, every single time, within 10 minutes, I was able to find the insecurity that was being triggered in me by the outside. And when I found that, suddenly, just through awareness itself, it began to transform. Its charge started dissipating, and it settled down. And then I was able to actually just speak my truth and say how I felt, to own my insecurity, and to say that I'm a little pissed off right now. I'm a little frustrated. But not blame it on anybody, but to share it and say, and I found why. It's because I'm nervous. I'm worried about something. I'm worried about the way someone will perceive me if I react. Or if I don't, what will happen? And by being able to share that and just kind of voice it and bring it out into the open and expose my deepest insecurities, but in a nurturing, loving, caring way, I suddenly began to see this incredible pattern and this incredible power that was beginning to grow inside me, that's been there all along. And this challenge that was happening outside of me, it was the very thing that was giving me an opportunity to break the conditioning, the safety walls I'd put around that power, protecting myself, but in turn also holding my power back. And I realized that what was creating the friction wasn't creating the friction to be nasty or to be mean. It was drawn into my life. I was magnetically attracted to it because it was the perfect match to create the perfect friction that I needed to set fire to my power and to my inner awareness. And within 10 minutes every time, I was able to transmute what felt like an oppressive energy that was making me trigger. And I was able to transmute that into the most liberating, dynamic, beautiful energy that just rushed through my body and allowed me to stand strong in who I am and be the fullest me that I could be in that moment. And I've never felt that strong in my life. And it wouldn't have happened without that friction. So today, the yellow resonant mirror is here to support us in evolving our capacity to go through that process, to be able to nurture ourselves in our reflection in every moment as we move through time and space in our daily lives. Because it's such an important skill that you do have a hero's journey. If you are watching this video now, then you do have a hero's journey. You have a powerful path to walk, a purpose to bring to the collective. Now that may be to create the most exquisite garden in your house that maybe very few people will ever see. But then it will be to do that garden with all your heart and master what it is to be that gardener, and create a garden that contains such a frequency that the frequency itself emits out into the world and contributes to the great change. Or you may be a great leader. You may become the president of some of the greatest countries of all time and help break down the walls of this idea of countries itself and help bring sovereignty into the world. And maybe millions will be watching you. Or your hero's journey might be anywhere in between that spectrum. And every single role is just as important as the other. There is no hierarchy in that sense. There's a natural hierarchy, but there's no better or worse. We need all of the roles to be finding their place in our world now. And we need to do that through compassion and through nurturing ourselves into really being able to see who we are, how we operate, be able to bring this self-awareness into our everyday life to see where are our triggers, and then look behind those triggers and find what is it in you that is trying to come out by attracting those triggers to you. And when you unlock that, your outside circumstances will change. The things that you attract into your life will change. Life really can be ease and grace. There'll always be ups and downs and emotions and those kinds of things. That's the juice of life. You know? Don't look at sadness as a bad thing. Sadness is beautiful. Melancholy is one of the recipes of the greatest ecstatics in life. Melancholy and bliss. Alone, each of them can be such a magnificent experience. But when we allow them to dance together, this melancholy and bliss dancing in this dervish whirling crazy experience that is the human journey, nothing beats it. So let's get busy just being, finding your stillness in the movement of your day. There's no need to rush. That doesn't mean you can't move fast, but just find a stillness in yourself. So even when you are within busy environments, you're still very aware of your emotional body, your mental body, and your physical body. Listen to it, because everything you need to know to walk your hero's journey is inside you, here and now. So thank you for joining me for the weather report today. And I'll see you at the beginning of the next wave spell, which is going to be a big one. So keep your eye open for it. Much love.